All right, guys. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. A lot of great things going on in the Auburn stratosphere. You're talking about the top 10 team as far as basketball goes for Auburn. So now you have a Auburn basketball team that's ranked in the top 15, and then you got an Auburn football team that's ranked in the top 12, taking on Minnesota. But we're going to take a break from all of the logistics as far as what's going on as far as sports now. We're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to talk about the fact that Auburn had an epic opening signing day, early signing period. We're going to talk about the 3 top recruits for Auburn football. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. I got my man Devin Dawson. He is a recruiting guru. He has studied these guys backwards and forwards. And the first guy up is Tang Bigsby out of Hogansville, Georgia, Callaway High School, right there in the middle of Highway 85 in between Atlanta and Auburn. Devin Dawson, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I need a little bit more. We got the highlights going, but what is your biggest take from Tang Bigsby, and what do you think he's going to add to this Gus Malzahn, now Chad Morris offense?
Yeah, first off, Contavious Tang Bigsby, 6 foot, 210 pounds, 4.55 40. You know, it kind of sounds a little slow, like his coach said. He's faster than what on the field than what he runs in the 40, and you can throw on the tape, and I mean it just shows it. Man, this guy can do it all. He can catch out of the backfield. He can block. He's got great ball carrier vision. He's fast. He's explosive. He's got agility. He can run you over. You know, he's got the nickname Tank, but he's more of a finesse runner. And he can run you over. But this guy kind of reminds me of Cadillac Williams. I may get a little bit of heat on that. But he's a monster, man. He can do it all. I haven't seen a flaw in his highlights yet, and I've watched him front to back. I mean, he's a monster, man.
Now, you mentioned, it was at the tip of my tongue to ask you what Auburn running back in past times that he reminded you of. You said Cadillac Williams. I think, in my opinion, I think he's a combination of a couple of running backs that I can think of. The Cadillac Williams definitely comes to mind, but if you could put Cadillac Williams and Kenny Irons in the same guy,
you got it.
I think you got Tank.
You got it.
That's just what I see in Tank Bigsby. Now, the reason why I threw Kenny Irons in there because Kenny Irons is a no-quit kind of running back. He keeps his legs churning, and he creates things out of nothing, the same way Cadillac Williams did. So if you could morph you could morph 2 guys together. I think in Tank Bigsby you have Kenny Irons and Cadillac Williams, which is an absolutely dangerous combination.
I think you hit it right on the head. And like Gus said, he's a one-play back. He can. It doesn't matter where you're out on the field. He can bust it to the house. I mean,
I tell you. Man. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep it going.
No, I was just he can do it all. He can catch out of the backfield. I haven't seen one flaw in his game, and I'm just being serious. I haven't seen one flaw in his game.
Man, I tell you what, I was really excited when Tank Bigsby signed early in the sign, earlier this year. Well, not signed, but actually committed to Auburn earlier this summer. He had the whole little signing party with the hats and all that other stuff, and said, "Hey, look, man, I am coming to Auburn. I am committed to the Auburn Tigers," and that was very exciting for the Auburn fan base. Now, here's the thing: we talk about Tank Bigsby. I think he is obviously 5-star recruit, the best recruiter, rated recruit in this particular class. But man, you got to talk about these next 2 guys who I think are the 2 most versatile guys of this particular class. Kopi Hudson, when you look at his highlights, it looks like you put a cheat code in and was like, look, now you got Kopi Hudson. He can do anything. He can play on the defensive side of the field. I think he can play quarterback. I also think his best position, obviously, is wide receiver. He's had a monster season out of Troup County, not too far from Tank Bigsby. They probably even played against each other
They did.
here.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
That's the game where Tank got hurt.
So tell me a little bit about Kopi Hudson, and where do you think, as versatile as this kid is, what is he going to do for Auburn? Like, where are you going to put him?
Yeah, so Auburn recruited him as a wide receiver. Kopi Hudson, 6'1", 186 weight. He runs a 4.6, 140. I personally think he's a little faster than that. He's a possession receiver. He's explosive. I'm like you, man. He's a cheat code. I don't know what you can take from his tape, because I see nobody that can even defend him.
So let me ask you this. I mean, okay, so he's a cheat code guy. I think Anthony Schwartz is obviously a cheat code guy.
Exactly.
You got Kopi Hudson. You got, my goodness, you got Seth Williams. Who had a really nice season this year. Then you got Xavion Capers, who's a little bit further down the line. We're going to talk about him later on. But man, how great can this receiver core be in 2020 when you add a guy like Kopi Hudson?
Now, I think the young guys are going to play really early. I think we're kind of doing what Alabama and LSU, they're trying to do with these tall, lanky receivers that are athletic. I think that's what that's how you win these days.
I think so too.
And let me say this: after studying, all the 5 stars and the receivers and linebackers of similar, there's no reason that Kopi Hudson and Wesley Steiner shouldn't be a 5-star. It's actually laughable, in my opinion.
I was expecting Kopi Hudson to earn that 5th star because of his. He's just had some epic numbers at Troup County High School, and these guys play on a high level in Middle Georgia, and I just don't get it how he's not a 5-star recruit. But we move on further, and ironically, as we talk about the top 3 recruits for Auburn, ironically, these guys are from Georgia. Yeah. Auburn actually picked these guys right out of the University of Georgia's backyard, Georgia Tech's backyard. Florida State actually likes to recruit in Georgia's backyard as well. But then we talk about Wesley Steiner. Now, I think Auburn has done a great deal as far as getting more athletic linebackers, guys that can cover a lot more ground. You look at what Owen Pappo was able to do. You look at the fact that KJ Britt, obviously, hands down, I don't see how you couldn't pick him as an all-SEC linebacker. I like Wesley Steiner and what he could add to the athleticism of Auburn's linebacker core.
Yeah.
You really study these guys. How do you feel how do you feel Wesley Steiner's ability as not only a versatile linebacker, he covers a lot of ground, but the kid can run the football too. Right. What if he gets an interception? He's taking that thing to the house.
Exactly. So first, don't shoot the messenger. I think this is the best kid we signed, and I don't think it's close. He's a 6 foot, 220-pound inside linebacker. He runs a 4.5, 140 and has a 40-inch vertical. Holy
crap.
He has a 40-inch vertical. There's not many teams in the country that even have an inside linebacker that runs a 4.5 40, much less a 40-inch vertical. He's physical. He's athletic. He has high IQ. Just watching tape, you'll find it eventually on his highlights. The opposing team is on maybe the 3 or 4 yard line about to score. They're running a stack trip set to the right. The quarterback takes a direct snap and goes left. Steiner runs him down all the way around from the right side and stops him short. This kid is a freak. And he's as physical as any. He's kind of got that KJ Britt mentality. He's going to bust you.
I like that, because the thing about Wesley Steiner that I took off of video footage is he has the instincts and the intelligence of Owen Pappo. I think that's the biggest thing about Owen Pappo's game is that he's very intelligent.
And when you get guys like him, Wesley Steiner, Zacoby McClain, when you get guys like that on the field at the same time, they're going to wreak havoc. High IQs, athletic. They're just good football players. And Wesley Steiner is somebody to watch for. I think he can come in and immediately get playing time. That's how good he is.
Man, I love this coverage of Auburn recruits because that it gives us a kind of a blueprint or a bird's eye view of what we're going to be looking at next year when we talk about Auburn's defense. I don't think there's going to be like a terrible drop off in Auburn's defense. Now, before we go, we've covered all the top three guys.
Yeah.
What do you feel as far as the Auburn defense? Because Auburn's defense has been predicated upon the defensive line's ability to create pressure. A guy that comes to mind, I'm going to do a video on this kid pretty soon, Tyrone Truesdale. Yeah. How do you feel as we end this video? Do you think there's going to be any surmountable drop-off in the tenacity of this defense going into 2020?
Well, I'll say this. When you lose a guy like Derek Brown, you're going to lose Nick Cole. You're losing Marlon Day. There's going to be a drop-off. But the guys we've recruited behind them are just as good. We recruited four-star defensive ends. They're big. You can put them at defensive tackle if you need to. Truesdale's a tackle. He'll be back next year. I mean, he's big, physical. He's quick for his size. I mean, people are worried about the defense. I'm not worried about the defense. We've got guys. I keep up with this shit. We got guys. We're kind of getting the Alabama mentality going. 4 stars behind 4 stars.
Yep.
Like you always say, an overlap in recruiting.
Oh yeah, I love the overlapping talent because it shows up. As a matter of fact, it shows up big in games like LSU. There's no way you can develop a scheme. What the hell was that? A 3-1-7 scheme.
Yeah.
If you don't have the personnel to do it.
Absolutely.
I love these Auburn Tigers, man. I love.
I want to say one more thing.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, brother.
Wesley Steiner, 6 foot, 220 pound inside linebacker in the SEC, running a 4.5 40 with a 40-inch vertical. I mean, this guy can windmill dunk if he wants to. That is absolutely insane.
Man, that's frightening, brother. That's frightening.
And I know you remember the play where it went over to Sean Davis's against LSU. It went over.
Man, that's my play that I'm always like, you know what? If
that ball hits Wesley Steiner in the stomach.
Right. And he might have taken that.
He might take that to the house.
Right. That's the play right there that let me know that we needed to start to recruit more athletic, more rangy linebackers. I love Deshaun Davis. I love his tenacity, but there was a limit to what he could do.
He was an IQ player.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I hated that play happened. He was like 1.5 inches away from just deflecting the football. Now we have the guys that can make that play.
I kind of think that play, got in the coach's heads, and I think that's why they're going after these types of guys, because that's a play you have to make. If he makes that play, we win the ball game.
Exactly. And that changes the whole trajectory of that season. Auburn wins that game against LSU. You have a veteran quarterback in Jarrett Stidham who had a horrible game, but winning that game could give him some more confidence to take Auburn into the next level, for the rest of that season. But look, man, I think Auburn is
quick shout out. Brother. Quick shout out to Drew, Jalen, Will, Seth, and Briley and the whole 256 War Eagle.
War Eagle, baby. Hey, let me tell you something, man. You got a knowledgeable guy here in Devin Dawson as it relates to Auburn recruiting. We're going to end this thing right here, man. If you are not subscribed to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn, you're doing yourself a bad disservice. We get on this thing almost every day. If you look at how many videos that are on Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn, averaged out, we're on here every day. Devin Dawson is a great contributor to this channel. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to have some coverage on Minnesota, who is a very opportunistic defense, going to give a challenge to Bo Nix. Hey, as always, guys, it is great to be an Auburn Tiger. 365, 24/7, War Damn Eagle.